And a very good morning from what is not a bad Manchester today. Not clear blue skies, but very little cloud and potential, I think, for that big yellow ball to appear, but who knows, we'll wait and see. What I want to talk about today is something that I rarely touch on, solely because what I want to touch on today is so divisive. And it's divisive with everyone. It's divisive with people who you don't know, people who you do know, family members, friends, people you meet in the pub, that kind of thing. And that little thing is politics. And needless to say, where politics is spoken about, it is connected to everything. Your day-to-day life. How much it's going to cost you to fill your car up this week. Whether you believe that the country needs culturally enriching on a day-to-day basis, and so on and so forth. The problem is, where I'm concerned, anybody who's been with me for a while now will know I don't vote, and I have told those who've been with me for a while why I don't vote. And it's a very simple reason, really, although there's a kind of variant on it which I will add on in a little minute or two. The reason I don't vote is very simple, is I do believe in my heart that politicians are inherent and unavoidable liars. I would love to know from anyone, if you're watching this, by all means contact me and tell me this. The last time that the political party that you voted for offered a manifesto, entered the general election campaign, got to the general election day, got elected, and then over the 4 years or 5 years that they're in power, delivered the manifesto they promised. Anyone contact me, and if you can let me know who that party was, in what country that party was, and what they offered and what they delivered, that would be brilliant. I'd be really interested in hearing that. So I don't vote for the sole reason that I don't trust politicians to do what they say they're going to do. They say what they think we want as an electorate, and they'll just say it. It's just words, and when they get into power, they just carry out whatever agenda they want. Now, the other reason I don't really vote is I am politically homeless. A while back, a long time ago, if you have a look through my videos, there's a video on there with a red polling box that you put your vote in, and I think it's called something like a new political movement ? And I talk about kind of perhaps why I'm politically homeless, because I'm a fairly weird kind of character. I am, to the face of it, and to a lot of people who know me, quite right of centre. I am a nationalist. I am a proud Englishman. I'm proud of my country. I'm very disappointed as what's happening in my country. I will take a very strong line on crime and punishment and so on and so forth. But also, I spent all my life helping and working for charitable causes. I have been a governor for my children's school, for instance. I've been a trustee for a local charity in my local area for a good number of years, and most importantly, I have been both a voluntary and professional fundraiser. So I believe in the third sector, the charitable sector, the sector that tries to do what is right for society for little or no income or thanks or whatever. We do it because we want to do it, because we feel with a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of effort, many things can be achieved. And I believe that I've done that during my life. So I'm a fairly odd kind of character. I'm a bit left-wing where charities and society are concerned, where those who need help get the help, and I'm very right-wing regarding those people who commit a crime, let's say, against the person or against society, or take the piss out of the country in which I live, are dealt with quite harshly. So I'm a very strange person. So yes, politically homeless. So the title of this video then, so who are you going to vote for, Stuart? Well, I suppose it would be very easy for me to say, well, no one, because I've just said I don't vote because I'm politically homeless. Am I going to vote? I don't know. We have two elections coming up here. In one, obviously the general election, which I probably think is going to be maybe in November time. There's a lot of querying going on at the moment that it may be in May. I don't see that. I don't see that happening at all. Rishi Sunak is desperate to keep his job. I don't think he wants his job, but what he wants is the power of having that position. And we have a local mayoral election, which I think is in May, and one of the guys who is running for mayor, a gentleman called Nick Buckley, who's a little bit like me, funnily enough. I know Nick. He is very left-wing and very right-wing. He helped lots of people get off the street, for instance. He helped young people with drug addiction, and also now he wants to become Greater Manchester Mayor to deal with all the massive crime issues and drug issues and all that kind of thing, and homelessness, abuse that's rampant in our city right now. And I think I'm going to vote in that election because I like his policies. He's going to be very strict on the woke police, for instance, that if you have your house burgled, we all know full well that the police just will not turn up for a domestic burglary, and Nick will want to put that to rights, for instance. So to talk about the general election, who am I going to vote for? Well, I've been thinking about that of late, and even though there's a new runner and rider in the grand national game that is politics in this country, which is Reform, who seem to be talking the talk where those of us who are slightly right-wing and who may well be politically homeless are wanting to hear that kind of rhetoric. I have to say, is it just rhetoric? Is Richard Tice saying what we, people like me, want to hear? That we want those boats stopped, we want the illegals who are here returned to either their point of origin, France, or some other country, which the do-gooders will want to be a safe country. I don't particularly care where they go, but nevertheless I want a party who will do that for the benefit of the United Kingdom. So will I vote for Reform? Well, the problem is that, as I say, I don't know whether what they're saying is rhetoric or not as yet. But what I do think is, I feel that both the Conservative Party and the Labour Party here in Britain need to be taught a lesson, a very stern lesson. And there's only two ways really that I think that can be, well, I guess three ways. One which maybe you guys might not agree with, and that the first one is the most controversial. Just don't vote. Just don't vote. Let the political elite know that we don't care or in their policies enough. We do not believe in them as people enough to even be bothered to come out of our houses to put that little tick in the box or the X in the box. The other way is to spoil your ballot paper just by writing on it, not in my name, or we deserve better, or whatever it be. Or the third way is to vote for somebody like Reform. Now, not because, as I've said, that they are particularly the answer to our prayers, but the more and more votes that go to Reform, the less and less votes go to Tory and Labour. And hopefully that will give them a little bit of a spanking, and they will have to step back and believe that, hang on a minute, people are not as keen to take the traditional two-party route anymore. They are looking to go elsewhere. I am going against the grain for myself this year. I am considering voting. I don't know who to vote for, whether I just actually spoil my ballot paper, or whether to vote for the monster raving loony party just as a protest. I don't know as yet. But I do believe that this country's been trodden into the ground by the Conservative Party, and I do not see that improving with the cabinet who are in charge at the moment. And if we're expecting anything any better from Keir Starmer and his crew, things will only get worse. They are more left-wing than the Tories. They do not care about Britain. They have no love for Britain. And anybody who votes for them needs really to take a long, hard look at themselves. What will happen to this country should Labour get in? So I'm not here to tell you who to vote for. I'm here trying to tell you what I'm going to do. And the answer is I don't know. If I do vote, it will be to register my discontent with the status quo of the political game in this country. Now, as I said, whether that will be spoiling my ballot paper, whether I will vote for Reform or the monster raving loony party or some such other body, I don't know yet. But what I do know is that if the electorate returns the Tories to power, or brings in, for God's sake, the Labour Party, this country is dead. We already have London, Birmingham, Manchester and Leeds, who are minority white cities now. And there is an agenda by a certain ethnicity to ensure that that continues, and that at some point in the future there will be a certain flag, not the Union flag, hanging above number 10 Downing Street, and that needs not to happen. We're in major problems here. You need to think twice before you do anything once when you get in that polling booth. And if you do vote, think about not playing the two-party game, because you know what you're going to get from one party. They've been there for 13, 14 years and delivered devastating measures to this country. And you see the kind of non-entity, vacuous person in Keir Starmer, who's just waiting in the wings to get into number 10, and the hassle that he will cause, the devastation within the British people that he will cause. So that's it for this one. Who am I going to vote for? I don't know. Will I vote? I don't know. Is there a possibility? Strangely, yes, there is. There is a possibility, but only to send a message. That's it for this one. If you don't mind, give it a thumbs up. I'm still bleeding subscribers. I'm not on my own, apparently. I'm seeing a lot of content makers on YouTube who are saying the same thing. People who are subscribed to lots of channels, popular channels, bigger than mine, far bigger than mine, are not getting the subscriber numbers, or subscriber numbers are missing. people have got their subscribers are not being notified when videos land, so on and so forth. So please, if you'd like this kind of content, please give it a thumbs up. It will get it noticed in the algorithm and get the information out there, especially on subjects like this. It's really important that people need to understand what's happening to this once great country. Please consider subscribing, and for now, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.